You're starting with me, so you're gonna have everybody exiting out of the video as soon as possible.
No, that'd be if it started with me. We're done listening to this guy already. He's going.
Camera's rolling now?
Yeah, it's rolling. It's
Alright.
Okay, so I'm Jeremy Mosier, senior biochem major.
I'm Nick Thomas, a senior finance major.
Jake Hopkins, senior marketing and sales major.
I'm Chirisala Harris. I'm a junior social work major.
I'm Blonde Layla Dokin, senior communication studies major.
Alright, so we're going to go ahead and start. Our topic is the controversial topic of, can Christians use rap or rock to kind of worship God, I guess, in a sense. So we're going to give a little brief history about it. So I'm doing the Christian rap side. Christian rap started in about 1982. There was kind of already the rap movement that started in kind of the hip-hop R&B thing. It kind of took over a little bit of like the southwest part of the country, and then as well as the Reach Records group, the 116 Click with Lecrae and all the big names that are in there today. So
Some of the discussion questions we would like to start out with would be, do you guys think Christian rap music is appropriate?
I definitely think it's appropriate. I think people can worship God or worship another deity, whether it be well, I guess it is Christian. So yeah, worship God. And growing up as someone who was not Christian, and then became a Christian when he was in middle school, I listened to Eminem a lot. So I kind of was like around the rap, and you might be talking about like social issues too, but they're in the end talking about God and how like He affects their lives, and they're just doing.
A lot of people like argue like that rap music is not appropriate for Christians because lots of rap music has like a bad reputation because of like the messages that they send. So, and like with people that have that like sense in their mind like rap music is bad, it's hard for people to say like, why would you combine, like if rap music is so bad, like why would you combine Christian into that?
Kind of going off your point a little bit. Going off that and contemporary music style, because I feel like it's a good thing for like the younger generation because they would understand that this type of music is different from a different type of rap music. But if you were to show it to like an older generation or something like that who wouldn't be as adapt to this kind of stuff, I could see where they would be like, oh, this isn't appropriate.
Yeah, kind of going off what you're kind of going with is, one of the big ways I was able to get into a church was the church I went to, you know, we started to develop more Christian rock. We didn't really do it, but when we use rock music to kind of lead some worships even, like it took some while, you know, for the older congregation that was there, the pastor or something that was like a little touchy on the subject of, you know, allowing us to do it with our youth group. But it does take some convincing for the older generation, but it can be done.
And kind of going off your point, do you think like people would like leave a church or something like that if like they didn't think this particular kind of music would be appropriate or anything like that?
I mean, I believe that some people would leave a church. I mean, I think it'd be more older generation that would not used to, you know, rock music necessarily.
Like for like most churches I've seen where they have like a happy medium where they have like a traditional service early in the morning and then they have like a contemporary service. So I think it's just more of like a matter of taste. Most people fall like more in the middle.
I think some people might be kind of inclined to leave the church, though. I mean, yeah, it's like obviously an opinionated thing. It's what you believe, what you want, but I just think kind of like with the old generation especially, I think it's hard because they probably grew up on a lot of hymns, not a lot of beats to it. So I think it might not make them leave a church, but like you said, there are always normally two options, like a morning service, which is normally pretty like traditional because older people like getting up earlier than we do.
Yeah, so I didn't want to say that. Now that we're saying it,
I think
like,
it's pretty much how it is.
Yeah.
Like we like to sleep in, but you know, that's why 10:30 services are my favorite thing in the world because you still get a little bit of sleep. But some of them they're up at like 7 o'clock. I'm like, all right, let's go church. I'm like, whoa. But yeah, so I think that's why.
There's lots of like media that's like now part of religion, like kind of like what we talked about in class, like mediated religions about like technology and stuff, and like lots of those contemporary Christian services don't have like books and stuff to read out of. They usually have like a screen. So, and that's like our generation stuff is more about like technology. Like we have our phones and laptops and blah blah blah. And I think
maybe children who get a hold of this music, do you think that could draw them to like a particular zone of faith, like Christian rap or Christian rock, do you think that could like potentially draw someone of not that faith or someone of maybe of a different faith into this kind of religion?
Go ahead.
I mean, that's kind of how, how I found the church I went to was, I had friends that went and they tried to convince me to go, all this kind of stuff. I was like, I'm a little touchy about going, not that I didn't believe or anything like that, but it was more of a, a little hesitance going to a new church.
Yeah.
But it was the youth group and actually bringing in the idea of Christian rock music and, playing these more upbeat, not just hymn music. And that's why I kept going. Like that was my reason for going. So I think it would pull a lot of your younger, generation into going to church more.
That's Christian rap music. People who listen to it who may not be Christians, you think it plants a good seed then?
I think it could. I mean, it's not necessarily going to every time, but I think there could be some guy who hears one of Lecrae's songs just because he types in like rap music or something and it pops up, and then he starts like listening to more of it, and it kind of just, like you said, plants a seed, and then all of a sudden
I wanted to talk about why do Christian artists produce music? Why do you think they do?
And I think some of the motivation behind the artist is like they realize that, oh yeah, music does have an effect on you, and so they're like, oh, we want to send a positive message to people, so I think that's why they do that.
Well, I believe that a lot of them do it just because of that reason. They feel like they have a talent and they can take it to another level and bring what they believe in.
Maybe, like God calls them, or they feel like a pull to I guess not preach, but
it's kind of preaching,
preach or
kind of like show what they believe.
Yeah, show what they believe through their music. Buy expensive things.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that some of them may do it for the money or anything like that? You guys have that sense from anyone? Because kind of like you said, there's not every apple isn't a great apple. There's a few bad ones that spread out there.
It's definitely possible, but the artists that I see, Christian, I feel like Christian rap isn't as popular, isn't popular enough for them to make a significant amount of money.
There's just times where money can corrupt people, and unfortunately, but I think they're still there to help people.
Like celebrities or artists that go into get caught into rehab and drugs and stuff like that, Justin Bieber and stuff like that, they talked about the other day. And it's possible for Christian music or Christian artists to get caught in that stuff too. We just don't hear about it enough.
Going back to the Christian artists, and do you think it's okay for Christian artists to use Christianity as a platform to make their money?
Wow.
It is a tough question, but like I said, it's just opinion based, and I've done research on this particular thing, and I've found a couple articles. One says it's okay, the other says it's not, because we understand that they do this and they do this kind of stuff for a living.
Wow.
Question.
Because there's an episode about this on South Park, which probably isn't the best. Where the main character, he wants to start. They challenge each other, and one is he decides to do Christian rock because he feels like he'll do better. So he changes the names of popular love songs, and just instead of Baby and God, he just puts God instead of Baby, and he ends up going double myrrh. And it wasn't the same as double platinum, but the moral of the story was the moral of the story is that he did it for all the fame and everything. So I think as long as the intention isn't for fame, and I feel like and the thing is too is that and the people who are doing it for the wrong reasons will have to settle that with God.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's almost not even my place to be you're wrong for saying that or you're right. It's more of is your heart in the right place?
Yeah.
So
I think it just depends if that person's genuine, okay, I genuinely want to do this, and this is my life, like, I don't wanna have like a second job in like an office or whatever, this is how I want music, they're still doing the same type of work that, secular artists do, it just has a different type of, like, they're just doing a different subject of music, so I think that's okay too, I think they should be protective and have like rights just like everybody else.
So do you know-
some kind of profit being made to continue on with their music
Exactly.
or with spreading what they have to say.
And that's another thing, because they're like, they would list passages inside these articles, and it just depends, like if they were to take it like very literally, they'd be forced to give it for free, but if they were to take it like in the sense that we've been talking about, it'd be okay.
Yeah, unless they had like a second job on the side and they
Yeah.
only did this as a hobby.
Yeah. Okay, and we'll switch up the topic a little bit, and
Agree
how do you?
that, you know, this is music that, it's not work of the devil or
Yeah.
whatever. I mean, of course, there are the older generations that probably disagree with this music,
Mhm.
but I feel like we kind of come to an understanding that, yes, it is doing good and, you know, in, you know, the communities, but of course, there's always the naysayers and,
Always gonna be a critic.
Doing more good than bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Just
I'd agree.
message itself, it's doing more
Yeah.
good than bad, so.
I'd agree with that.
Alright.
Alright, well,
yeah.
for our great group here, this is Nick Thomas, as well as these great people signing off. You stay classy, North Manchester.